Joining me as he does for Good Policies every Wednesday, 10 till 8, Mike Barrett. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I had a question for you before you get into your stuff.
Sure.
If I've got a snowmobile and like the handlebar breaks off and I have insurance on it, should I just buy a new handlebar or should I report it and get it through my insurance?
Why did your handlebar break off?
Let's say I hit a tree. Okay.
Well, if you hit a tree hard enough to break your handlebar,
there's going to be other issues. But the reason I ask, and the whole thought as you get to the end of it is, do you get penalized for continuing to use your insurance for little things?
Yes.
Or should you use it for little things and not so much for, the monstrous things like, oh, I just ran this into a tree, but I'm not going to tell my insurance agency. I'm just going to fix it myself because I don't want my rate to go up that badly.
That's probably one of the most challenging parts of what I do, because the answer to your question is it depends. It depends on the situation, it depends on the company, it depends on all kinds of variables here. So the honest answer is it depends.
Okay.
So, but I constantly recommend to people file a claim. Please file a claim. You're looking at a couple $1,000s of damage here, and even if your insurance goes up, what if it only goes up for a little bit? It's only going to go up for 3 years, remember, because it's a 3-year experience period on your personal lines policy, such as a snowmobile or auto or beyond. So wouldn't you rather have the company pay that minus your deductible and maybe pay $100 more a year, or maybe pay $200 more a year? Over 3 years, you're paying what, $600 more for your insurance versus
down.
paying $2,000 out of pocket to save. And my voice is indicative of how I feel about it, because
Right.
It's such. There's so many people talk about insurance. We all do. I did forever. I always, I came into this business 10 years ago, but before that, I always just told my parents, don't, give me what I need and here's my money, and just had all these assumptions of the business. But believe me, insurance is there for a reason. And when you hear horror stories, believe me, I can honestly tell you, you're never hearing the entire story. So always check. Always have a dialogue. Yeah, maybe you do have a bit of a track record with claims history, and maybe that phone call to your agent or your company would be like, this could be the nail in the coffin. Maybe you'll get a non-renewal. Maybe you'll have something a little more serious happen. But seriously, let insurance do what it needs to do. Don't take overly advantage of it. But remember, certain things like glass losses are non-chargeable. If you have a glass loss every 6 months or every year, that could become a habitual offense. But file the glass claim. That's what it's there for. Okay?
What did you have on the agenda this morning?
I don't remember.
I had such a great. I was leading you into greatness.
No, I totally remember.
And you dropped the ball. Now, what's going on?
So last week we talked about shopping for insurance. Mm-hmm. We hit on some things like sharing of the flue of the wood stove and the oil furnace and the type of dog and so on and so forth. There are some other things too that are very probable with being an issue for a new company looking at you for on the homeowner side. And it struck me as I left last week, and I knew we ran out of time. So let's think about if you have stairs that exceed 2 steps. And maybe you have a porch, maybe, and it's over 24 inches or 18 inches, depending on the company, and no railings. Those are things that some companies could say, hey, look, sorry, but you really need to take care of that. That really needs to have a protective barrier. We don't want to have somebody on your porch not paying attention and boom, falling off.
Now, is this outside? What if you have a sunken-in living room and it happens to be 3 steps down?
They might want at least one railing on one side. I mean, okay. I will tell you, for a personal homeowner policy, very rare do companies really heavy hand these types of things, but just something to think about. And then the other thing is pools. So, you got this beautiful spot and you want to put a pool in, and you don't want to have a fence. That's going to be a problem. Or you have a pool with no fence and I'm coming to look and I go, ooh, I'm so sorry, you need a fence. Well, my current carrier doesn't care if I have a fence or not.
They didn't know.
They may not know.
Yeah,
exactly.
They didn't know.
And I will tell you, in Waterford,
because of young people. That's why. Mostly, small babies who have the opportunity to crawl out to the backyard and unfortunately.
Yes,
so.
Horror stories.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that's why every rule is in place, because there is a story.
Something happened.
There
that's
is
right.
statistical data, not just one event.
Oh, no.
We're talking statistical data over a period of time where companies go, look, this is just going to happen. So this is why we need to have these rules. But I'll tell you, in Waterford, the zoning regulations say if you have a pool, you got to have a fence that's 5 feet. So some towns even have that rule. But insurance companies certainly reserve the right to require a fence around an in-ground pool or require a retractable or locking ladder for an above-ground pool.
If you have questions about anything that we talk about, online we've actually put all of these conversations, and he's got additional stuff on
our website. Yeah,
Barrett Insurance Agency. But I mean, you've covered the spectrum. I think you are on every. You tweet. You Facebook.
No, I don't tweet. That's the one downside.
Oh.
I read President Trump's tweets, but I don't tweet myself.
I thought that was the beans you had yesterday. No tweeting.
It's a tweet-free
It's
society.
a tweet-free. You could always call Mike Barrett at Barrett Insurance Agency in St. Johnsbury at
748-5224. You can visit our website, which is thebarrettagency.com. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Google Plus at Barrett Insurance Agency. Plus, we're on Yelp, but we don't really do much with that. So.
I'll give you a 4-star.